It's one of the most heavily guarded places on Earth. But is there really any gold left inside Fort Knox? For decades, the U.S. government has claimed that over 147 million ounces of gold are still locked away, but with no full independent audit since 1953 and no journalists allowed inside since 1974. The mystery only deepens. Could the vaults be empty? Was the gold secretly moved, loaned, or pledged? Or even worse, replaced with fake bars? And if our gold reserve is gone, what would it mean for the U.S. economy? Stick around as we sort through the mystery of Fort Knox. Did you know that Fort Knox, home to the United States Bullion Depository and a major U.S. Army installation, also houses the U.S. Army Armor School and U.S. Army Cadet Command? The garrison is staffed by thousands of military personnel, while security for the U.S. Bullion Depository is provided by a combination of U.S. Mint Police, Fort Knox Military Police, and other specialized security forces. The facility is protected by predatory drones, blast-proof walls, and 20-ton vault doors, for which no single person knows the full combination. Photography is heavily restricted, and any photos or videos of the depository itself are strictly prohibited. The building and its immediate surroundings are considered highly sensitive areas. The last official report on the amount of gold stored was conducted in 1953. This was the most comprehensive audit of the gold reserves held at Fort Knox, and it confirmed the quantity and purity of the gold bars. Since then, there have been no full-scale, publicly disclosed audits of the gold reserves at Fort Knox. Why not? Well, while there have been calls for a new audit over the years, none have been conducted, and the government maintains that the gold is accounted for and secure. As of 2023, it is widely reported that Fort Knox holds approximately 147.3 million ounces of gold, valued at over $270 billion, based on current gold prices, historical records, and government statements, as no recent official audits have been made public. The U.S. Treasury officially reports the value of gold reserves at a statutory rate of $42.22 per troy ounce, which is significantly lower than the market price. This is said to be done for accounting purposes and does not reflect the true market value. So naturally, a new audit could put at ease any doubts and confirm the current status of gold being stored inside Fort Knox. However, proving whether the gold is still in Fort Knox would require an independent, full-scale audit that involved a combination of government agencies, independent experts, and possibly external auditors to ensure transparency and credibility. The most likely to be included would be the Department of the Treasury, the U.S. Mint, the Office of the Inspector General, the Government Accountability Office, along with congressional oversight. To enhance credibility, external non-governmental auditors with expertise in auditing large-scale assets could provide an additional layer of verification. Such an audit would likely begin with a full physical inspection of gold bars inside the vault, while also checking the seals on the vault doors to ensure they haven't been altered or otherwise tampered with. An audit would also include weight and purity testing, meaning that randomly selected gold bars would be weighed to verify they match official records. Conducting assay tests via drilling or X-ray fluorescence to confirm the gold's purity. The United States Treasury Gold Reserves Report would also be compared with what's actually in the vault. Any documents would have to be presented during an audit showing any transactions, such as loans or pledges, related to Fort Knox's gold reserves. So, while officials claim the gold is secure and accounted for, without a recent, updated, independent audit, skepticism will continue to remain. The last major removal of gold from Fort Knox occurred during World War II, when small amounts were transported for international transactions. In 1971, President Richard Nixon ended the Bretton Woods system, which tied the U.S. dollar to gold. But this did not involve physically removing gold from Fort Knox. Any removal of gold from Fort Knox would require authorization from the U.S. Treasury, potentially the President, and possibly Congress. Given the symbolic and strategic importance of the gold at Fort Knox, such an action would be highly unusual and would likely occur only under extraordinary circumstances. While public access has been highly restricted since the depository's construction in the 1930s, in 1974, a congressional delegation was allowed to visit the depository to inspect the gold reserves. This was a rare exception and was done to address public speculation and conspiracy theories about the gold's existence.
Congressman Crane, you suggested all this. Why?
Well, I did because there were rampant rumors and members of Congress were receiving a great deal of mail based on the charge that significant portions of our gold reserves at Fort Knox were gone. So I had suggested to Secretary of the Treasury Simon that I thought this would be a good way, I think, to dispel those rumors.
As one who has lived within just a few miles of this installation for a good many years, but who has never been inside the front gate, I can say that it is with a great deal of interest that those of us from the Congress have this opportunity to view the deposit here and to learn just what is inside the gold vault here at Fort Knox.
The visit confirmed that the gold was indeed present and securely stored, but it did not lead to any changes in public access policies. So what are the odds there could be gold missing from Fort Knox? Theft, fraud, mismanagement, or errors are highly improbable given the mechanisms in place. If the U.S. government had removed the gold for specific reasons, like international transactions or collateral for loans, any such removal would have required congressional approval and authorization from the U.S. Treasury. Another scenario would be the gold being moved to other undisclosed locations under government orders, such as for national security reasons or strategic economic policies. If done, it would require official government documentation. Even if this occurred, the lack of transparency alone would severely damage public trust in the United States government to safeguard national assets. The citizens would likely question the credibility of the Treasury and the entire financial system. Gold at Fort Knox is symbolic of U.S. financial stability. A loss of gold could undermine confidence in the U.S. dollar, potentially affecting international markets, triggering economic instability, and causing a loss of faith in the nation's financial integrity, and would likely lead to widespread political fallout and demands for accountability. Since the U.S. gold reserve is a key symbol of economic power, a loss could cause instability in global financial markets. It could provide an opportunity for China or other global powers to push for a new global currency system, or challenge America's dominance by promoting the yuan as an alternative to the U.S. dollar. So, until access is granted or verifiable and concrete evidence is provided to the public, the speculation, rumors, and skepticism will continue to grow. But considering the fail-safe security measures in place and the critical importance of the gold reserves, it's highly doubtful that much has changed within the walls of Fort Knox since 1974. We hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have thoughts or theories about what's really inside Fort Knox, drop them in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And be sure to follow us on X, Pinterest, and Facebook for more exclusive content. From all of us here at American Outdoors, thanks for watching, folks. We'll see you again soon.